Last time on History in Motion, we have discussed on megafauna of the Stone Age, giant of the past and extension of the megafauna. What happened? Once the earth belonged to giants. Mammoths, saber-toothed cats and monster sloths shaped the wild stage of the Stone Age, and humanity learned to survive among them. But as the ice melted and humans spread, the giants began to fall. The world we inherited was born from their extinction. Their bones became our history, their memory our myths. Even now, the echoes of those lost titans remind us that power and survival walk a fragile line. From the death of giants came the rise of humankind and the dawn of new age, our age. If you haven't watched that video, I put the link in the description box. Don't forget to watch it. And now let's begin our today's topic. Ice, endless merciless ice. For tens of thousands of years, it ruled the earth, shaping continents, forging mountains, and commanding life itself. But in this frozen world, two titans walked the earth. One, a shaggy giant crowned in ivory tusk, the woolly mammoth, the undisputed king of the Ice Age. The other, a shadow with teeth like dagger, the saber-toothed cat, nature's most fearsome experiment in predation. What happened when these prehistoric legends crossed paths on frozen plains? And how did their story intervene with our own? Today, we journey back more than 20,000 years to a land of permafrost and power, where survival was the only currency and extinction the ultimate prize. The last ice age, known scientifically as the Pleistocene epoch, began around 2.6 million years ago and ended roughly 11,700 years ago. It was an era when climate shifted violently, and glacial ice sheet covered nearly a third of the planet. Temperature plunged, ocean receded, and vast landscape emerged, thunders stretching from Europe through Siberia to North America. In this world, ecosystem balanced on a knife's edge. The megafauna, or great beasts, ruled the frozen plains. Towering mammoths, hairy rhino, giant ground sloth, and predators like the saber-toothed cat, all masterfully adapted to extremes. Yet this wasn't merely a story of evolution by nature. It was also the stage upon which early Homo sapiens and our cousins, the Neanderthals, learned to hunt, survive, and think. This was the crucible where humanity was tested. And in many ways, the mammoth and the saber-tooth became symbol of our confrontation with nature's harshest lesson. Imagine the Siberian steppe 20,000 years ago. Bitter winds swept across miles of frost-bitten grassland. A deep rumble echoed, not from thunder, but from the march of the giants. Herd of woolly mammoth, Mammoths primigenius roamed the tundra. Each stand over 11 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing up to 6 tons. Their long spiral tusks, sometimes more than 15 feet across, curled like ivory saber stretching towards the snow. But despite their size, mammoths were not monsters. They were architects of the ecosystem, the landscaper of the Ice Age. As they trudged through snow and ice, their great feet compressed the soil, maintaining the grassland that sustained countless other creatures. Their tusks used to shovel snow and dig for buried vegetation, open feeding ground for smaller herbivores. Their thick coat of shaggy hair and a layer of fat up to 10 centimeters thick insulated them against fierce cold. Under the fur, a dusky orange-brown hue helped trap heat and gave them the color familiar to us from ancient cave paintings. Genetically, mammoths were close kin to today's elephant, especially the ancient elephant. Yet, mammoth adapted the cold more efficiently. Small ears to reduce heat loss, bourbon heart to store fat, and specialized hemoglobin protein allowed their blood to release oxygen even in frigid temperature. But across endless snow roamed another master, one designed not for size, but for death. Lurking in the shadow of Mammoth herd prowled a formidable predator, Snidden fatalis, the saber-toothed cat. With razor-like teeth stretching up to 7 inches, and its jaws were designed to pierce throat, not crush bones. Contrary to popular assumption, Sweden wasn't built for speed. Its stocky build, muscular forelimbs, and short tail revealed a hunter that relied on ambush rather than chase. It was the heavyweight boxer of prehistoric predator, slow but devastatingly strong at close range. Imagine the scene. A mammoth calf wanders from its mother's side. In the silence, a shadow shifts. The cat explodes forward, muscles coiling like a steel cable, pouncing upon its prey with a power unmatched by any modern big cat. Its fangs pierce deep into the throat, serving vital arteries. Within moments, the snow stains red. Sneden's range extended from North to South America, preying on bison, horses, round slot, and young mammoth. Fossil evidence from the La Pera tar pit in Los Angeles captured a haunting image of their world. Thousands of skeletons preserved in sticky alphabet, telling a story of predator drawn in by the cries of trapped prey, only to meet the same fate. Snedden lived not just through strength, but through social coordination. Evidence hint at cooperative behavior, individual nursing injured that would have crippled a solitary hunter, suggesting pack-like care, much like modern lions. Whereas two apex icons, the mammoth and the saber-toothed, who ruled very different corners of the ice age, yet both represented the pinnacle of adaptation. Still, neither could outlast the arrival of a new and unpredictable force, which is us human. When Homo sapiens entered Eurasia around 40,000 years ago, they encountered creatures out of myth. Imagine the terror and awe of standing before a woolly mammoth towering like a moving hill or the horizon, or hearing the guttural snare of saber-toothed cat echo through the night. Yet, unlike other prey, human had something the mammoth and the saber-toothed could not evolve: intelligence, language, and cooperation. Archaeological sites like Dolvin Westonis in the Czech Republic and Yana RHS in Siberia shows large-scale mammoth hunting operation more than 25,000 years ago. Hunters coordinated to drive herd into pit or towards cliff edge. The bones of this skill become raw material for tools, weapons and shelters, and even arts. Entire dwelling made of mammoth bone still stand today, testaments of Ice Age engineering. For early humans, mammoths weren't just food, they were foundation of survival. A single mammoth could feed a community for months. Its tusk could be carved into spears, and its bone turned into shelter, and its hide into clothing. But as human advances in skills and population, the mammoth's world began to shrink. Climate warming and the spread of grassland into forest eroded their habitats. The partnership between the human and mammoth, once symbiotic, became predatory. In the meantime, saber-toothed cats faced their own challenges. As large herbivores dwelled, so too did the cat's prey. And when humans learned to use fire, group defense, and ranged weapons, they rewrote the balance of power. The Ice Age giants were falling, and humanity, the newcomer, was rewriting nature's script. Despite their fame, much about these creatures has surprised scientists and shattered myths. For one, woolly mammoths did not all die at the end of the Ice Age. Isolated populations survived for thousands of years afterward. On Wrangel Island in the Arctic, a small herd lived until about 4,000 years ago, when pyramids were already rising in Egypt. Imagine that, while pharaohs ruled the Nile, far to the north, the last mammoth still trudged across frozen tundra, and it wasn't purely natural extinction. Genetic study of the Wrangel Island mammoth shows they suffered from inbreeding and genetic mutation, leading to brittle hair, loss of smell, and fertility problems. A heartbreaking slow fade of a once mighty dynasty. As for the saber-toothed cat, many myth paints them as snarling, cunning beasts, unable to adapt. Yet fossil reconstruction revealed a graceful, intelligent hunter, not a brute. Their massive canines were surprisingly fragile. They specialized for precise killing, not random splashing. Contrary to the imaginary of the constant, bloody battle with mammoth and direct conflict between the two were rare. Snowden primarily targeted small prey. A fully grown woolly mammoth armed by fat and muscle was almost invincible except to hunger, ice, or human ingenuity. And then there's the dream of resurrection, a topic sparking modern imagination. Scientists are actively working on de-extinction efforts using preserved mammoth DNA from frozen Siberian remains. By editing genes into the genomes of Asian elephants, researchers hope to recreate a mammoth-like hybrid adapted for cold environments. What's the goal? The goal is part scientific curiosity, part ecological restoration, an attempt to rewind the Arctic tundra by bringing back grazing herd that could help restore permafrost ecosystem. It's both a bold vision and a moral question. Should humanity resurrect what nature and perhaps we erased? In fact, the story of mammoth and saber-toothed cat is also the story of us. Their extinction shaped human behavior, art, and identity in profound ways. Cave painting from sites like Trafenak, Chevet, and Capova feature striking depiction of mammoths drawn with reverence and precision. Their presence in Ice Age art revealed not just knee observation, but a spiritual connection. To our ancestors, hunting and mammoth was more than a survival. It was a sacred act, a ritual of respect between hunter and hunted. The tools and strategies developed for hunting these animals accelerated human cognition and communication. Planning a mammoth ambush required complex cooperation, signaling advanced language and abstract thought. In essence, mammoth hunt may have forged civilization itself. Similarly, living in a world alongside saber-toothed predator honed human fear, awareness and adaptability. The cat's lurking danger forced humans to build fire, weaponize tools, and live in groups, traits that would later define societal living. You could say the saber-toothed helped teach us the price and value of vigilance. Even today, remnants of these creatures linger in our cultural memory, from myths of dragon and giants to the enduring image of the warrior facing the beast. The Ice Age burned an image of conflict and coexistence deep into the human psyche, predator, prey, and the fragile balance between them. In the end, the mammoth and the saber-toothed cat both vanished, victim of changing world and an emerging species clever enough to master fire, tools, and faith itself. The ice melted, the thunder gave way to forest and field, and from those same plains where mammoth once marched, human rose, building civilization, raising monuments, and inventing history itself. Yet the ghosts of these giants still haunt our imagination. Each time archaeologists unearth a frozen tusk or a gleaming saber, it reminds us of the fragile thread linking past and present. That evolution is not progress, but adaptation. Our ancestors walked with giants, learned from their rise and fall, and carried those lessons into the future. Today, as we stand at the edge of our own environmental crossroad, perhaps the extinction is speak not of the past, but of what we might have still saved. Because the story of Ice Age is not just a story of ending, it's a story of beginning. So next time when we meet, we'll discuss on the giant ground slot, the slow titan, and the dire wolf, the real game of throne wolf. Till that time, thank you for joining. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And join me next time as we continue our journey from stone to silicon.